Meri Brown has always been a polarizing figure in the world of sister wives. Her journey from being Kody Brown's first wife to a woman carving out an independent identity has been filled with ups and downs. Now, it seems Meri is making a definitive statement. She no longer wants to be associated with sister wives or the Brown family. Her actions, words, and lifestyle choices all point to the fact that she is determined to leave her past behind and create a future entirely on her own terms. From the moment Meri confirmed her separation from Kody, she has taken careful steps to redefine herself. While other wives like Yanel and Christine have spoken about their pasts and maintained some connection to the family narrative, Meri has taken a vastly different route. She has distanced herself from the family, both physically and emotionally, choosing to focus on her businesses, self-improvement, and new relationships outside the Brown name. Unlike Christine, who still acknowledges her past in interviews, Meri barely references her time with the Brown family, making it clear she is ready to move on completely. Meri's decision to distance herself from the Sister Wives brand is evident in the way she communicates on social media. She no longer posts about the show, nor does she engage with fans who bring up Kody, Robyn, or her past polygamist lifestyle. Instead, her posts focus on self-empowerment, new business ventures, and personal achievements. It's as if she is deliberately erasing the chapter of her life that involved Kody and the other wives. Her once frequent reflections on personal struggles in the plural marriage dynamic have been replaced with uplifting messages about embracing a new life. A major indication that Meri is cutting ties with her past is her relocation. For years, she maintained a residence in Flagstaff, but recently, she has been spending more time in Utah, where her beloved bed and breakfast, Liz's Heritage Inn, is located. Moving away from Flagstaff means she is physically removing herself from any proximity to Kody and Robyn, the only two members of the Brown family still living together. This relocation isn't just about business, it's about freedom. Meri has long been drawn to the idea of making her own way, and now she is proving that she doesn't need the Brown family's ties to survive or thrive. Meri's body language and interactions also reveal her disinterest in revisiting the past. In recent interviews, when she has been asked about the Brown family, her responses have been brief and devoid of the emotion she once displayed when discussing Kody. It's as if she has placed an emotional barrier between herself and the family that once defined her existence. Unlike Christine, who openly talks about her new life while still acknowledging her past, Meri barely references Kody and instead focuses entirely on her personal growth. Another glaring indication that Meri wants no association with the Brown family is her approach to business and branding. In the past, she often mentioned sister wives when promoting her bed and breakfast, but now, there is a conspicuous absence of any reference to the show. She has rebranded herself entirely, emphasizing her personal achievements and business ventures. It's clear she wants to be recognized for her individual success rather than being known as one of Kody Brown's wives. The way she speaks about her work now is drastically different from the past. There is no mention of the plural family, only her personal journey. Meri's relationships also point to a dramatic shift in her priorities. While Christine and Yanel have maintained their bond and still talk about their shared history, Meri appears to have moved in a different direction. She is forging new friendships and aligning herself with people who have no ties to sister wives. She has been seen spending time with friends who celebrate her individuality rather than her connection to the Brown family. This change is significant because, for years, her identity was tied to being part of the Brown polygamist structure. Now, she is demonstrating that she doesn't need that association to be happy. Perhaps the most telling sign that Meri is done with sister wives and the Brown family is her attitude toward love and relationships. She has expressed that she is open to new possibilities, but unlike Christine, who has publicly embraced her new love with David Woolley, Meri is taking a more private approach. She is focused on self-love and self-discovery rather than immediately jumping into another relationship. This careful, measured approach suggests she is determined to establish herself as a whole person before allowing anyone else into her life. It's a stark contrast to her past, where she sought validation from Kody and the plural marriage structure. Meri's growing independence is evident in her evolving public image. She has undergone a transformation, both physically and emotionally. Her style has changed, her confidence has grown, and she appears happier than ever. The reserved and often heartbroken woman fans once saw on Sister Wives has been replaced with someone who radiates self-assurance. This shift didn't happen overnight. It is the result of years of struggle, realization, and ultimately, the decision to reclaim her life. Even though Mary is still technically part of the Sister Wives narrative due to her past involvement, she is doing everything in her power to make it clear that she has moved beyond that chapter. She rarely engages in discussions about the show and doesn't use her connection to the Brown family as leverage for her current success. Instead, she is proving that she can build a fulfilling life on her own terms. This level of independence is something that fans have long wished for her, and now, she is finally embracing it fully. Mary's journey hasn't been easy, and it has been filled with heartbreak and betrayal. However, she has emerged from it all as a stronger, more self-reliant woman. She no longer clings to the hope that Kody will choose her, nor does she seek validation from the family that often sidelined her. Instead, she is stepping into her power and making it clear that her future belongs to her alone. With every move she makes, Mary Brown sends a clear message: she is no longer tied to Sister Wives or the Brown family. She is creating her own narrative, separate from the drama and dysfunction of the past. While the show continues, and Kody and Robyn attempt to maintain their version of the Brown family, Mary is proving that she doesn't need that world anymore. Her new life is one of self-discovery, success, and independence. And for the first time in a long time, she seems truly free. Brown is no stranger to the challenges of navigating life in a plural family, but in recent months, she has faced more stress than ever. As the dynamics of the Brown family continue to shift, finds herself at a crossroads, determined to forge her own path while dealing with the weight of emotional and financial pressures. Her journey has been marked by resilience, but as she unveils a bold new plan for her future, the burden she carries becomes increasingly evident. For years, was known as the level-headed, financially responsible wife in the Brown family. She prided herself on being independent, working hard to provide stability for her children, and maintaining a sense of balance in the tumultuous world of polygamy. However, the recent fractures in the Brown family have tested her like never before. With Christine's departure, Mary's increasing distance, and her own strained relationship with Kody, has been forced to reevaluate everything she once believed in. The woman who once fought to make polygamy work now finds herself questioning whether the sacrifices were worth it. Yanel's stress has been compounded by the financial instability that has plagued the family in recent years. The failed Coyote Pass project, coupled with ongoing tensions regarding assets and ownership, has left her in a precarious position. While Kody and Robyn continue to live in their lavish home, Yanel has struggled to secure long-term stability. She has been vocal about her frustrations, making it clear that she feels abandoned in many ways. Unlike Robyn, who seems to have Kody's full financial support, Yanel has had to fend for herself, leading to an immense amount of pressure as she tries to figure out her next move. As the family dynamic crumbles, Yanel has made the courageous decision to take control of her own future. She is no longer willing to wait for Kody to provide answers or solutions. Instead, she has embarked on a bold new plan, one that involves reclaiming her independence and redefining what happiness looks like for her. While she has yet to reveal all the details, it is evident that she is preparing to step into a new phase of life, one that no longer revolves around Kody's whims or the constraints of polygamy. This shift has not been easy, and the stress of making such a major life change is weighing heavily on her. Part of Yanel's new plan involves expanding her business ventures. She has long been involved in the world of health and wellness, and now she is doubling down on her efforts to create a stable income stream that allows her to support herself without relying on the Brown family. This decision has been met with both support and skepticism. Some fans admire her determination, while others worry about the risks involved. Yanel, however, remains steadfast. She understands that taking control of her financial future is the key to securing her independence. In addition to her business plans, Yanel is also focused on redefining her personal life. She has expressed a desire to explore what true happiness means for her outside the context of polygamy. While she has not officially announced any new relationships, there is a sense that she is open to the possibility of finding love again. Unlike Christine, who has openly embraced her relationship with David Woolley, Yanel is taking a more cautious approach. She is prioritizing her personal growth and well-being, ensuring that she is in the right space before making any major romantic commitments. This journey of self-discovery has been both empowering and stressful, as she navigates uncharted territory after decades of being part of a plural marriage. Janelle's relationship with Kody remains a significant source of tension. The once strong bond they shared has deteriorated to the point where they barely seem to communicate. Kody's unwillingness to take responsibility for his role in the family's fractures has only deepened the divide between them. While Janelle has always been known for her patience, even she has reached her breaking point. The stress of dealing with Kody's erratic behavior, coupled with the emotional toll of watching her family fall apart, has taken a noticeable toll on her. Despite this, she remains focused on moving forward, refusing to let the past dictate her future. The family shifts have also affected Janelle's children, adding another layer of stress to her already overwhelming situation. As a devoted mother, she has always put her kids first, ensuring that they have the support and stability they need. However, the fractures within the Brown family have made this increasingly difficult. Some of her children have distanced themselves from Kody, while others struggle to make sense of the ever-changing dynamics. Janelle has had to step up in ways she never anticipated, providing emotional and financial support to her kids while dealing with her own struggles. It is clear that she is carrying a heavy burden, one that few can truly understand. Through it all, Janelle has remained remarkably strong. She has faced setbacks, disappointments, and betrayals, yet she continues to push forward. Her ability to adapt and persevere is what makes her journey so inspiring. While the road ahead is uncertain, one thing is clear: Janelle is no longer willing to play a passive role in her own life. She is taking charge, making decisions that align with her values, and refusing to be held back by the constraints of the past. The stress she faces is undeniable, but it is also a testament to her resilience. Janelle is proving that it is never too late to rewrite your story, to step out of the shadows and claim the life you deserve. As she unveils her bold new plan, she is setting an example for others who may feel trapped in situations that no longer serve them. Change is never easy, and the weight of uncertainty can be overwhelming, but Janelle is showing that sometimes, the hardest decisions lead to the most rewarding outcomes. The Brown family may continue to shift and evolve, but Janelle's path is now firmly her own. She is no longer defined by her role in a plural marriage or her connection to Kody. Instead, she is carving out a future that is uniquely hers. With each step she takes, she is proving that strength comes from within and that true happiness is found when you have the courage to follow your own path. As she faces heightened stress and navigates the challenges ahead, one thing remains certain: Janelle Brown is a force to be reckoned with, and she is just getting started. Kody Brown's relationship with Christine was always filled with ups and downs, but as their marriage neared its breaking point, he became increasingly critical of her. One of the biggest accusations Kody hurled at Christine was that she was manipulative and played games in their relationship. He accused her of pouting, throwing temper tantrums, and using emotional tactics to get her way. But looking back, it becomes clear that Kody was being far too hard on Christine, pushing her into a corner with his unrealistic expectations and lack of emotional support. His behavior toward her in the final years of their marriage was not only dismissive but also indicative of his unwillingness to take accountability for his role in their problems. Christine was one of Kody's most vibrant and outspoken wives, often expressing her emotions openly. While this was part of what made her such a beloved figure among fans, it also made her a target for Kody's frustration. He often downplayed her feelings, accusing her of being overly dramatic and difficult to deal with. Rather than acknowledging that Christine had valid concerns, Kody labeled her reactions as manipulation. His tendency to minimize her pain and blame her for their struggles created a toxic environment where Christine felt unheard and unappreciated. It was clear that he had already emotionally checked out of the marriage long before she officially decided to leave. One of the biggest sources of conflict between Kody and Christine was their differing views on intimacy. Christine openly admitted that she no longer felt loved or desired by Kody, but instead of addressing her feelings with compassion, he accused her of playing games. He claimed she was using the lack of intimacy as a power move, rather than acknowledging that she had every right to expect a loving and reciprocal relationship. This gaslighting behavior made Christine feel as though she was the problem when, in reality, she was simply asking for the bare minimum in a marriage. Kody's refusal to meet her emotional needs ultimately solidified her decision to leave. Kody's treatment of Christine in the final months of their marriage was a clear sign that he was more focused on maintaining control than fostering a healthy relationship. He constantly portrayed himself as the victim, insisting that Christine was being unfair and manipulative. However, his words and actions painted a very different picture. He showed little to no empathy for Christine's struggles and instead resorted to belittling her whenever she voiced her frustrations. His accusations of temper tantrums and gameplaying seemed to be more about deflecting blame than addressing the real issues in their marriage. When Christine finally made the decision to leave, Kody's reaction was telling. Instead of reflecting on what he could have done differently, he lashed out, portraying Christine as the villain. He painted her as someone who was difficult to deal with and who had been scheming to leave all along. This narrative allowed him to avoid taking any responsibility for the collapse of their marriage. But the truth was that Christine had spent years trying to make things work, only to be met with constant rejection and dismissiveness. Her departure was not a calculated move to hurt Kody, it was an act of self-preservation. Christine's decision to move on and eventually marry David Woolley was the ultimate proof that she was not the manipulative person Kody made her out to be. In her new relationship, she radiates happiness and fulfillment, something that was noticeably absent in her final years with Kody. Her ability to thrive outside of polygamy is a testament to the fact that she was never the problem. Instead, she was trapped in a marriage where her needs were not being met and where she was repeatedly made to feel as though her emotions were a burden. Kody's reaction to Christine's happiness with David only further exposed his inability to handle rejection. Rather than wishing her well, he continued to portray her as someone who had been playing games all along. His bitterness was evident, and it became clear that his ego had taken a massive hit. Seeing Christine flourish without him contradicted the narrative he had built, that she was the difficult one, the unreasonable one, the problem. But the reality was that Christine had simply chosen to stop tolerating neglect and emotional manipulation. Kody's harsh treatment of Christine was not just a one-time occurrence, it was a pattern that had been building for years. His tendency to dismiss her feelings, accuse her of gameplaying, and belittle her reactions created an environment where she was left with no choice but to walk away. Instead of recognizing his role in the breakdown of their marriage, he doubled down, insisting that Christine had been difficult and manipulative all along. But Christine's newfound happiness serves as the ultimate proof that she was never the issue. She simply found the courage to leave a situation that no longer served her and embrace a life where she is valued and loved for who she truly is. Meri Brown has always been a polarizing figure in the world of sister wives. Her journey from being Kody Brown's first wife to a woman carving out an independent identity has been filled with ups and downs. Now, it seems Meri is making a definitive statement. She no longer wants to be associated with sister wives or the Brown family. Her actions, words, and lifestyle choices all point to the fact that she is determined to leave her past behind and create a future entirely on her own terms. From the moment Meri confirmed her separation from Kody, she has taken careful steps to redefine herself. While other wives like Yanel and Christine have spoken about their pasts and maintained some connection to the family narrative, Meri has taken a vastly different route. She has distanced herself from the family, both physically and emotionally, choosing to focus on her businesses, self-improvement, and new relationships outside the Brown name. Unlike Christine, who still acknowledges her past in interviews, Meri barely references her time with the Brown family, making it clear she is ready to move on completely. Meri's decision to distance herself from the Sister Wives brand is evident in the way she communicates on social media. She no longer posts about the show, nor does she engage with fans who bring up Kody, Robyn, or her past polygamist lifestyle. Instead, her posts focus on self-empowerment, new business ventures, and personal achievements. It's as if she is deliberately erasing the chapter of her life that involved Kody and the other wives. Her once frequent reflections on personal struggles in the plural marriage dynamic have been replaced with uplifting messages about embracing a new life. A major indication that Meri is cutting ties with her past is her relocation. For years, she maintained a residence in Flagstaff, but recently, she has been spending more time in Utah, where her beloved bed and breakfast, Liz's Heritage Inn, is located. Moving away from Flagstaff means she is physically removing herself from any proximity to Kody and Robyn, the only two members of the Brown family still living together. This relocation isn't just about business, it's about freedom. Meri has long been drawn to the idea of making her own way, and now she is proving that she doesn't need the Brown family's ties to survive or thrive.